Zhang Daxian's pupils suddenly contracted, and he shouted angrily. What? How did this happen? His eyes showed helplessness. There are still tens of thousands of zombies here, and we're already exhausted. How are we supposed to handle this? Bianjinyu knew this too, but what other option did he have? If he used his oblivion ability to wipe out all these zombies, it would surely kill him in the process. He spoke with frustration. There's no other way. We have to fight to the death. Zhang Datian's face turned pale and twisted with no trace of blood left. His eyes flashed with hatred and malice for a moment before it disappeared. He cursed internally. If it weren't for Bianjunyu and these people coming to Tianhai City, his grand plan would have been completed long ago. Now, he and Yuan Kongya had to face this mess, with no way out. The conversation between the two was overheard by Zhang Yi's team through Bianjunyu's communicator. Zhang Yi found it strange. He felt the situation was not what he had expected. Zhang Daxian's tone sounded anxious, not mocking or indifferent like before. Zhang Yi began to doubt his and Wang Han's assumptions. What's going on? He thought. Aren't the zombies under their control? Or are they reluctant to sacrifice what they've painstakingly cultivated? Enjoying the story so far? Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. Stay connected with Hana Manga Ang for more epic manhwa, manga, and anime content. Your support keeps us going. Zhang Yi glanced at Bianjunyu and muttered, Captain. Bianjunyu and his group, after much effort, finally made it to shore. But getting to shore wasn't a relief. As soon as they landed, a fierce battle erupted. Several top-tier mutants were immediately surrounded and fiercely attacked by the horde of zombies, who, smelling the scent of fresh flesh, charged at them ravenously. Bianjunyu removed his sunglasses once again and activated his oblivion power. This terrifying ability instantly turned thousands of zombies around him into ashes. But immediately after, he coughed violently, blood seeping from between his fingers as he covered his mouth. Indeed, everything has a price. If you want to be queen, you must bear the weight of the crown. Wu Di screamed in horror, Captain! This wasn't the first time he had seen Bianjunyu cough up so much blood. But lately, Bianjunyu's face had grown paler, and Wu Di was terrified. Without thinking, he began launching violent attacks, shooting beams of light in every direction. Even the bronze-armored zombies, known for their strong defenses, were torn apart by his light orbs, creating a path forward. Bianjunyu, suppressing the discomfort in his body, urged, Run, now. Zhang Daxian no longer hesitated. He quickly assisted Bianjunyu's team in escaping the encirclement. From above, Zhang Daxian used his willpower to push back the zombies, while Lian Yue, holding grenades, anxiously glanced behind at the horde of zombies. It's not looking good, she said. The zombies today are far more aggressive than before. We've only drawn in a small portion of them, but there are still tens of thousands of zombies surrounding the investigation team. Can they even survive? Zhang Yi noticed this too. His eyes became sharp. The situation seemed different from what he had imagined. Initially, he had planned to use this incident to force Bai Shui's sect to give up control of the zombies. Even though Yuan Kongya had great strength, it wasn't certain that they could stand against the other four forces. However, the situation now was turning in an unpredictable direction. Either Bai Shui's sect had gone mad and truly wanted to wipe out the investigation team and everyone else, or they had lost control of the zombies altogether. Zhang Yi leaned toward the second possibility and muttered to himself, There's no time to think about it. Right now, we need to deal with the immediate problem, he murmured. If there's really no other choice, I'll give it a try. When Zhang Yi said this, his eyes lit up, and a sly smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Seeing this dangerous look, Tu Biao asked, What are you planning to do? Zhang Yi glanced at him and replied, I'll use my spatial portal ability to sneak through and rescue them. Without further explanation, he immediately opened the dual gates. His spatial portal could cover a range of about 300 meters around him. By opening 2 gates at once, he could easily save Bianjunyu's team. The spatial portal didn't consume energy or require recovery time. However, using it now would mean revealing his ability to everyone. Tu Biao sighed in relief. Why didn't you say so earlier? If you had done this from the start, we wouldn't have had to worry so much. Everyone looked at Zhang Yi, remembering how he had used the spatial portal to lead them out of the subway station, evading the zombies. However, Zhang Yi had never fully explained the conditions or details of his ability. They still knew very little about it. After hearing this, Zhang Yi corrected them. You misunderstood. When I said I would rescue them, I didn't mean it the way you think. Tu Biao was puzzled. What do you mean? Aren't you going to use your spatial portal to bring them out of the zombie horde? Zhang Yi continued. The Jiangnan region gave us a final hope. To resolve the zombie problem in Tianhai City within 24 hours. It was never about ensuring everyone in the investigation team survives. So, even if I rescue them from the zombies, it's meaningless. It won't stop Jiangnan from destroying everything. Zhang Yi checked his Rolex and said casually, there's less than 16 hours left. Tu Biao and the others' faces turned serious. It was clear that the task was impossible. Even though Tiohong Luyan had used crude oil to kill tens of thousands of zombies, many bronze-armored zombies and flying zombies still survived. There were tens of thousands more zombies, and it was impossible for them to wipe them all out. Liang Yu, holding a grenade, spoke up. Maybe the so-called 24-hour deadline was just an excuse. The Jiangnan region probably never believed we could solve the zombie crisis and had already planned to use nuclear weapons. The 24-hour countdown is likely just to give Bian Junyu and the investigation team a chance to explain themselves. Tu Biao trembled as he anxiously asked Zhang Yi, Boss, there's still time for us to escape. We can leave Tianhai City now. Zhang Yi frowned. I already said, if no one can do anything, I'll give it a try. This is our last chance. There's still time. If we fail, we can escape later. After saying this, he jumped out of the car window, and with a swift movement, his figure disappeared into the zombie horde 300 meters away. Want more thrilling stories like this? Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with your friends. Stay updated with Hana Manga Eng for more awesome content. Your support helps us bring you the best of manhwa, manga, and anime. Before the zombies could react, Zhang Yi stepped through the spatial portal and reached Bian Junyu's location. Tu Biao clenched his fist at the car window, shouting in panic, Boss? Hua, the loyal dog, widened its eyes, full of worry, unable to understand what its master was planning. Zhang Yi knew that if the others realized his plan, they wouldn't let him take such a risk, so he acted quickly. Uncle Viu, who had fought alongside Zhang Yi since the beginning of the apocalypse, trusted his decision. Uncle Viu reassured the group. It's fine. Even if Zhang Yi can't eliminate the zombie horde, he has the ability to escape safely. Let's trust him and wait for his return. While speaking, Uncle Viu picked up his gun and fired a shot toward the zombies, blasting dozens of them to pieces, limbs flying everywhere. Although everyone was worried about Zhang Yi, Uncle Viu's words gave them some comfort. At this moment, their only option was to trust him. After living together for nearly half a year, under the same roof, they understood the kind of person Zhang Yi was. Steady and reliable. He would never put himself or others in unnecessary danger unless he was confident in his plan. Feeling this, they continued to attract as many zombies as possible to relieve the pressure on Zhang Yi and the team. Meanwhile, Zheng Dashan hovered mid-air, using his power to attack the zombies. Every wave of his energy wiped out dozens of them. But even with his extraordinary strength, he couldn't change the overwhelming situation. His efforts felt like a drop in the ocean as more bronze-armored zombies focused on him. After some time, Zheng Dashan started feeling exhausted. The boat had reached land, but the investigation team's pressure hadn't lessened. Zombies covered the snowy ground and crawled up from the lake. Bian Junyu's Oblivion ability couldn't be used now if he wanted to stay alive. The toll it took on his body meant that after a few more uses, he would likely meet his end. As for the others, while they were strong, they too were helpless against the massive horde. Standing back to back, they formed a circle and continued moving forward. But everyone knew that once their mutant powers were exhausted, they would die here, their bodies torn apart. A heavy atmosphere of despair hung over them, more intense than during the battle with Bai She sect. Zheng Dadian had tried to convince Bian Junyu to flee with him. In his mind, even if Tianhai City were to be leveled, as long as they kept the investigation team's captain alive, they still had a chance to negotiate with the Jiangnan region. He spoke to Bian Junyu. "Captain Bian, come with me. We still have hope." Bian Junyu, coughing uncontrollably, replied, "Zheng Dashan, leave. I'm dying and I won't abandon my team. At least before I die, I want my family to live better, thanks to my sacrifice." Bian Junyu knew that no one in the investigation team would leave their comrades to save themselves. They wanted to either live together or die together. Seeing Bian Junyu's determination, Zheng Dashan was at a loss. He cursed under his breath. "Fool! If that's what you want, don't blame me." Zheng Dashan turned and flew off into the distance, thinking darkly. They're all going to die. Once the nuclear weapons are launched, everything, including the zombies we've raised, will be wiped out. All my efforts and Ayan's will go up in smoke. It's better to return now and activate the blood vine, letting the zombies kill themselves. These people are doomed anyway. Bian Junyu, if you can't understand this, that's your loss. Now, Zheng Dashan's mind was clear. Whether the investigation team survived or not, no longer mattered. As long as the zombies disappeared temporarily, Tianhai City wouldn't be destroyed, giving them a chance to rebuild. In just a few months, they could raise another horde of zombies. After all, Tianhai City might lack many things, but it certainly didn't lack the dead. If you're enjoying this story, be sure to like, subscribe, and share to support our channel, Hana Manga Eng. We bring you the best of manhwa, manga, and anime content, and your support helps keep us going strong. Stay tuned for more thrilling updates. After Zheng Daqian left, Zhang Yi quickly moved through space, nearing Bian Junyu and his group. Even in the midst of a zombie horde, he wasn't worried about being attacked. The location of Bian Junyu's group was easy to find because in the sea of zombies, there was a huge pile where the creatures were trampling over each other, trying to move forward. Zhang Yi appeared before Bian Junyu's group, startling them. "Zhang Yi, why are you here?" Everyone was both surprised and relieved to see him. Fear stemmed from Zhang Yi's incredible power, but relief came from the hope that his arrival might mean survival. Bian Junyu immediately asked, "Zhang Yi, are you here to save us?" Though they were still fending off zombies, everyone glanced at Zhang Yi, hoping for a reassuring answer. Deep down, they knew the chances were slim. But in a moment of despair, they were willing to grasp at any hope, no matter how small. Zhang Yi, panting, spoke seriously. "The situation is worse than I thought. My ability is limited to teleportation. I can only take one person out of here." Hearing this, the group's mood plummeted. Only one person? Who would it be? Without a solution to the zombie problem, rescuing just one person seemed meaningless. Tuhong Luyan, her face tired and eyes bleak, sighed. "Looks like this is really the end for us." Despite her words, she had no regrets. The apocalypse had turned Tianhai City into a dead zone, and most of her loved ones, family, friends, and comrades had already fallen. The fact that she was still alive was a miracle. Bian Junyu, though sullen, remained rational. He asked, "Then what's the point of you coming if you can't save us all?" Zhang Yi replied urgently, "I'm here to present a possibility. I have an idea. It might not work, but it's worth a try." Wu Di, anxious, urged, "Then tell us quickly." Everyone looked to Zhang Yi, awaiting his explanation. Without making them wait, Zhang Yi continued, "Do you remember the ice crystal of Yuan Kongya?" Everyone certainly remembered. Bian Junyu had already guessed Zhang Yi's plan. Zhang Yi explained, "You need to know that the ice crystal has two special abilities. First, it helps those who haven't awakened their mutant powers to discover them. Second, it enhances the strength and potential of those who have already awakened. I actually used the ice crystal to boost my own abilities, which is why I'm one of the most powerful mutants in Tianhai City." Tuhong Luyan admitted, "I've also used the ice crystal. If I'm not mistaken, Wei Dinghai and Xing Tian have too." Zhang Yi was surprised by this information. This was the first time he had heard it, but it made sense. In the apocalypse, strength was everything. The leaders of various factions would certainly take any opportunity to enhance their power to maintain their dominance. The ice crystal had no side effects if the user didn't die. Zhang Yi had considered using the ice crystal himself, but knew that once used, the person became a target for Yuan Kongya. He had even thought about lying and saying he had used it. Bianjunyu asked, "So, you're suggesting we use the ice crystal to enhance our strength and break through?" Zhang Yi nodded. "It's the only option we have. You're already some of the strongest mutants around. Using the ice crystal might push you beyond your limits and give us a chance to escape." Baili Chongqing and the others frowned, thinking over the idea. In their desperate situation, any option to escape was worth considering. No one wanted to die. Wu Di urged Bianjunyu, "Leader, let's give it a shot." Zhang Yi generously offered one of his ice crystals. "Here, you can use this one," he said. He had 3 in total, and with such an unstable material, he didn't need to keep too many for himself. Bianjunyu looked at Zhang Yi, and though he wore sunglasses, Zhang Yi could feel the cold gaze from Bianjunyu. It was as if Bianjunyu saw right through his thoughts, wondering if the experienced leader had already seen through his intentions. If you're loving the suspense, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with your friends. Join us on Hanamanga for more incredible manhwa, manga, and anime stories. Your support makes all the difference.